Ebro, Laura, and
Okay.
Rosenberg, welcome to the program. Virtually, Kerry Washington. The BX is on from the Bronx, New York. There you go. BX. A lot of people didn't know you were from the BX. What part?
Well, like Castle Hill, Soundview, J-Lo territory.
Woo.
By the way, Ebro, you should have said she's fresh off of winning the Met Gala. I don't know if you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
crushing it.
That's
so
just, you know,
sweet.
that's what they're saying. Listen, I'm just reading I'm just reading what the people are saying, and you're in
That's
that
not your
top.
personal opinion.
Well, no,
Is
I
that
thought you
like
were great.
shade? You're like, I didn't think you looked great. Like the headlines said you killed it. I'm like, wait, what just happened?
No, I thought
This
you
started out so kind. What happened?
I thought you were fantastic. I'm sorry, but I did just read mad headlines that said Kerry Washington dominates blah blah blah. So it wasn't just my opinion. The world feels this way, Kerry.
I honestly, as a New Yorker, like, you know, I grew up in the Bronx, but I went to school on the Upper East Side. And so the Met Museum was like our hideaway. You know, we used to go after school. My mom used to take me to the Met when new exhibits would open. So I love the Met Gala because it does feel like a magical New York moment where you get to be locked in after hours and have access to the exhibit. And my husband and I are such nerds. We're always the ones who are like in the exhibit for too long. Like security's like, dinner has started, please sit down. But we're still like taking it all in.
How was it this experience this year with the
It
focus
was
being
the
on?
blackest
Yeah.
Met to ever happen, which by the way, it's incredible how much money has been raised, most money ever.
Wow.
Yeah, so dope. It was incredible. Like the vibes were so happy and communal and I don't know, it just felt there was a lot of talk about ancestors in the building.
That's right.
It was very
Beautiful.
special. It was a really, really special night.
And I mean, you've been several times. This isn't your first.
I have. Yeah, I have. I've been very blessed to be invited a few times.
Well,
But to have like Stevie Wonder performing and his
That's wild.
opener is Usher, like
Right.
when
That's
your
wild.
opener is Usher, like, let's just start there. It
What
was
was
nuts.
how long did Stevie play for? Like, did he do a full set, or he just had a couple
He
songs?
did like 5, 6 hits.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible. It was
Now,
incredible.
do you guys know like what you're getting into? You knew that they were performing, or no? When you just get there, it's all a surprise.
So I don't even know if I'm allowed to say. I knew people who were connected to hosts, so I had an inside
Gotcha.
scoop on performers. But the performer is supposed to be like a huge surprise every year. You never know who it's gonna be. Yeah.
I just love that. What really tickles me is that like the crazed right wing already hates Hollywood like as much as humanly possible and views it as this bastion of evil, mostly
Yeah.
because of the diverse ideas that come from there.
Yeah.
This particular Met Gala, where not only was it that crowd, but the theme was blackness, must have sent people into such
Let me tell you how
a
crazy
rage.
it was. It was so
Not
crazy.
just
I haven't
blackness.
seen one headline about it. They haven't even mentioned it. It's so
Yeah, like they can't.
They can't even
Because
talk
by
about
the
it.
way, it's not even that the theme was blackness, but the theme was black excellence.
That's
It was
right.
like
Yes.
the theme was resilience. It was like you can try to hold us down, you can
That's
try to
right.
make us feel less than, but we've been bringing style and fashion from the beginning and we're not going to stop. The theme was like we can't not be fly. It
That's
was
right.
insane.
Right.
It was
Even right
so
now, as you're
insane.
trying again.
That's right.
That's pretty dope.
As you're
That's
like
really cool.
ripping our history from us and trying to erase it from history books,
Right.
we're going to let you know that history is in every single facet of society. It includes us.
There
It
you
was
go.
kind of amazing.
That's
yeah.
No, they nailed it, and the timing is great. They nailed it, and it's so purposeful and so powerful that I have not seen one headline. I haven't seen one mention of any of that kind of crazed right wing conservative nonsense even try to approach what the Met Gala just did.
What's super interesting to me about the attack on artists is that like we've always been the heart of society, right? Like I think sometimes it's very hard for me to not imagine being a compassionate person because my job is literally to step into somebody else's shoes and figure out how to see the world through somebody else's eyes. So there's like a generous humanity that's just implicit in being an artist. And artists are always the ones to like hold up the mirror and show us what's really happening in society, whether it's painters or hip hop artists or fashion designers, artists are always saying, like, this is who we are. Let's decide who we want to be and who we don't want to be. And I think that drives people crazy when they want to control us and have us thinking small and have us be pitted against each other and not thinking about each other's humanity. So, I mean, they can keep attacking artists, but we're going to do what we do. And what we do reminds us to be more open hearted. It's just like built into the fabric of being an artist.
Well, it also, they clearly don't have any historical perspective because all it does is bring it more to the light. It brings it
That's
more to the
right.
forefront, and
That's right.
it makes it something that is documented history. It's just like I said. It's in the forefront. It's in the spotlight now.
You think about like just looking at hip hop itself, right? Like hip hop was born out of, let's take all the arts funding out of schools.
Right.
Let's make it difficult for people to have electricity. Let's make it difficult for people to have access to instruments. So we took a record player and turned it into an actual instrument,
Talk
right?
about
Like
it.
Right.
if you're going to take away our
Yo, man.
trumpets and our pianos and our violins, we are literally going to take the record players in our home and old music and turn it into new music because you're trying to rip it from us. You're going to take away our access to paints and pencils and pastels. So we're going to take spray paint that we can still get at the hardware store
Keep
and
going.
turn our walls into portraits, turn our walls into galleries. Like it's just like hip hop itself was born out of trying to take everything from us and us saying like we will create art. You want to close down our dance studio in our school? We will take cardboard, put it on the sidewalk and spin on our heads. Like we're going to figure it out.
And all of it will literally become like the biggest, most important cultural thing moving.
Yeah. 30
period.
years later, you're going to pay us to sell your French fries because it's the only culture that matters.
Hey, by the way,
50.
30 years you're gonna try to pay people to actually endorse you so you could try to win the White House. Sadly, successfully at times, but that's for another conversation.
That's
Well, listen,
right.
you're listening to
That's
Kerry
right.
Washington in the morning right now.
Yo, she's dropping bar. I didn't
no,
know Kerry was showing up to drop bars
Nah,
today,
it's
but
her
here
show
she
now.
is.
This is it. She's taking over. But she's also this Friday. She's playing Kyra Owens in a new movie called Shadow Force. Method Man's in the joint. Speaking of hip hop,
Crondon, too.
shout out to my man Crondon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crondon.
Yeah.
I love that
Isn't
guy,
that
man.
crazy? He's so good. They're both great. Method Man's such a great actor. It's crazy. If you had told like 14-year-old Carrie growing up in Castle Hill that I would be doing a movie with Method Man and that I would tell Method Man to fuck off, like I would be like, no way. No way.
Now, Kerry, I will say this. I think we're close to the same age. When I was a 14, 15, and Method Man was
Yeah.
becoming Method Man, he
Yeah.
was definitely the choice member of all the ladies. All the girls in high school, Method Man was that guy. Now,
I feel like that hasn't changed.
I was about to
Everybody
say.
I'm like, Method Man's in the movie. They're like, does he have his shirt on? Like people go crazy.
how did Nande
That's
feel about this?
longevity.
Nande wasn't jealous about you being on set with Method Man every day?
No, you know what's great about being married to a confident man is you can do a movie with Method Man, you can do a movie with Omar Sy, who plays my husband in the film. He's from Lupin or
We love
Lupin.
Lupin. Yo,
You're
we
saying
love
it in
Lupin.
French,
Well,
right?
Carrie, we
Laura
love
and I
Lupin.
love Lupin. Rosenberg's
I haven't
late.
seen Lupin yet. Okay.
We walked into the
Okay.
studio and I was like, yo, Ebro, Carrie's got a movie with Lupin. And we started laughing because we were like, Lupin.
It's so
Omar.
good. When we first
Yes.
posted about the film, people were like, "Oh, shit, Lupin and Olivia Pope are in a movie together." And we were like, "That's amazing." He's so great. He's so great. But yeah, I get to, I I come home to my husband because he's who I want to be. So I can do what I do at work, but I can, I'm with who I want to be with in real life.
That's beautiful.
I mean, you did score. Let's also talk about it. You did
Yeah,
score.
my husband's amazing.
Like you didn't like. Listen, there are people who have like married ex-athletes before, and then there's like people who are them being an athlete is like one little thing that they've done because he's an actor and a producer and it's pretty incredible.
Renaissance man. Yeah, he has a film coming out this summer called The Knife that he wrote, directed, and is starring in. Like incredible. He's a high achiever.
Do you guys have plans? Have you ever? Well, first, have you ever worked together on a project? Would you ever mix?
Not officially, but like we help each other behind the scenes a lot. Like he read the script for Shadow Force, which is so I love this film. I just want to say like it is a big like splashy, dope action adventure. Like we do all our stunts. It's incredible. It's
Dope.
really really exciting. But at the heart of it, it's a film about family. It's a film about love and black love, and it's really also about like parenting and leaning into partnership. It's just like it's got so much heart, and people come out of the film being like, I love the action, but I also didn't expect to cry and to laugh. And like, it's really, I'm very proud of this film as a director, not as a director, as a producer and as an actor. Our director is Joe Carnahan, who's like a proven director in the action space. But we do, when I showed this script to Namdi, he was like, you have to do this movie. And he helped me cast it. Like we were going through all the men. I would say a name, he'd be like, nope. And he would say a name, I'd be like, nope. And Omar was the first name that we were both like, yes, like it has to be Lupin. It has to be Omar Sy. Because also like Omar levels up the film because you realize when you're watching it, because he's such an incredible French actor. He's like one of the most famous actors in France. He's got the equivalent of the French Academy Award for Best Actor. The film becomes global and you realize like, oh, Black
Right.
people, we exist all over the world. We speak all different languages. We have all different cultures. And you realize like, oh, this Black love is so dope because it crosses languages and borders and boundaries. It's really, he like when he signed on, I was like, oh, now we have an epic global action movie.
I'd love to hear more about you as a producer, and just that area of discipline. Hearing that you're casting, you're going over the script, you're doing all these
Yeah.
things. Just as a businesswoman outside of your, what we know you for, tell us more
Yeah.
about that path and where that's going for you.
I think for me, like I love acting. That's always my primary love. I feel like I would, my agent is always like, don't say this, but I would act for free in a black box for the rest of my life. Like I love to do it. But when you're an actor, you're kind of waiting for opportunity, right? Like you want somebody to give you a job, to give you a chance to do what you love to do. And so you're like always praying for a seat at the table. And for me, producing has been so powerful because it's that thing of like, if you can't get a seat at the table, build your own table. Like I build my tables now and I do not build tables for one. And so such, it's such a blessing to not just be creating opportunities for me, but for hundreds of other people who get to chase excellence because we're creating something together. And the tables I build are the tables I want to be at because I helped build them, right? So,
Right.
like a film like this, I've wanted to do. I mean, I did an action film 20 years ago. I played Angelina Jolie's best friend in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and the original, and I loved it. Like I loved climbing up the mountains and the guns, but I just didn't have another opportunity in my career to do it. So when you're a producer, you get to create opportunities for yourself, and that's part of why I'm so passionate about it and want to do it well is because I get to do more of what I want to do the way I want to do it. And I love creating work environments that also feel good, right? Like I always say to the team, like, I don't want to just be proud of what we're making. I want to be proud of how we're making it, because that's also a big part of the puzzle piece.
You
Um,
mentioned earlier, Carrie, about doing your own stunts, and I found it
Yeah.
interesting because I don't usually get to see you in like these action-packed movies. But
Yeah.
tell me
Yeah.
about
Yeah. Yeah.
what that experience is like because
Oh
I've
my
seen like
God.
short docs on like movie like stunt doubles, which blow my mind. The
It's
all the
incredible. So
insane training that
I
they go through.
Yes. So I did have an amazing stunt double. Her name's Sina. And she, we work together very closely and she helped me to do a lot of it safely because this is what she
Yeah.
does all the time. But we trained so hard for this movie. It was like just the weight training and Pilates to get into shape to be able to learn the fight choreography. But then it's the fight choreography, it's the stunt. I mean, I learned how to drive a boat, how to park a boat, the weapons training, because we're not just holding guns, we're actually like shooting guns, cleaning guns, loading guns. And I felt like to be honest with you, I'm much more a lover than a fighter. I'm like one of the few girls who grew up in the Bronx who never really threw down. So for me to train was like a big deal.
Yeah.
It was like out, but it was so fun for my kids to wake up on a Saturday morning and I'm like in the driveway with boxing gloves on. And Omar and I decided we would have very different fight styles. So his is more like traditional Asian style, but mine is very capoeira influence because I was like, I want to be a woman, like as a woman of color, I want to bring who we are to these
Yeah.
fight scenes. So it was just it was so fun, so hard, but so fun.
Kerry, while we have time, because we only have a little bit left, you know, I was looking at the documentary on Apple TV Plus, number one on the call sheet,
Yeah,
and which is phenomenal for anybody who
so
hasn't
great,
watched it.
so
But
great.
you as Olivia Pope, I think the headline at the time was you were the first black actress to star in a
Hmm. The
network
network drama. Hmm.
drama in like 30
It
years. It
was
was like
it
since
was 40. It was
1974,
40
40
years at the
years.
time. And I wasn't
Wow.
40 yet at the time. So like in my lifetime, I had never seen it, which was
Crazy.
so crazy. And it's for me, you know, there's just so much like a lot of what people have said to me about Shadow Force is that it's so exciting for them because we don't get to see us doing this in this way. And they mean that in so many ways. Like, we don't get to see a black couple out there fighting together. We don't get to see a black couple fighting for their marriage, like not just emotionally, but
Physically,
physically.
right?
We don't get to see black parents fighting and for their child, right? Like part there, we have a son in the film. It's this kid's name's Jaleel. He's so crazy talented. He steals the movie. Like you fall in love with him. And to see these two parents, especially to see Omar, because we don't have that many. I mean, I can't really think of a film that champions Black fatherhood in this way. Like, Omar plays such a badass, but he's also like a vulnerable, caring, attentive father who's doing the heavy lifting of parenting. And I know so many Black men, men of color, who are doing that work. So to see it championed in the film, people are like, we need this. This is so good. This is who we are, and we shouldn't be like kept from these images of ourselves in this way. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm proud of Scandal being so groundbreaking, but I've been looking throughout my career to continue to challenge us to like be who we really are
Right.
in these narratives, like show up and represent who we are as people of color doing beautiful things in the world,
Well,
protecting each other, loving each other.
that brings us right back to the Met Gala, right? Because that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
dandyism was all about claiming your
that's right.
narrative, about claiming,
Your
your
elegance.
beauty, your elegance, your
Yeah,
style,
yeah.
and also claiming your own character and not letting the world that you come from define who you are, but you creating your own definition.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. It really is part of why I love Shadow Force because I feel like, again, we're playing, we are this global Black family, and we're up against the other thing is like, so Omar and I play two spies who used to work part in this unit called the Shadow Force, and we break the rules, we fall in love, I get pregnant, as happens sometimes, and then we have to like go on the run to protect our baby boy because we don't want the unit to come for him and to come for us. And what's so special about this film is we are protecting this Black boy joy, right? Like, we are going up against these systems that we used to be a part of that don't want us to be happy, that don't want us to be protected, which is a feeling a lot of us know right now, to live in a world where these systems are trying to take away our freedom, our love, our joy, and to say like, no, we're going to fight for our joy. We're going to fight for each other. We're going to fight for the thing that matters most to us. Like, it says on the poster, family over everything. Like, we're going to fight for that, because it's worth it, because we deserve it, and we deserve to be happy and to feel loved and to feel joy. And so for me, like, I've played a lot of strong women, like women who are strong emotionally and intellectually, but to play a woman who's this strong physically, is such a treat. And I'm excited. I'm excited for audiences to see it, because it's also not like it's not computer generated AI images flipping through the screen. Like, this is real people doing real stunts, challenging ourselves, and it's so exciting to see it on the big screen.
It
Shadow Force in theaters this
Yes.
Friday. Kerry Washington, Omar Sy, and Kerry, salute on 6888 also.
Oh, thank
Yo, that
you.
was, I
Kerry,
mean,
I
Laura,
shed
let me give you,
tears.
Laura was like, yo, when we get Kerry on, we got to talk
Please.
about that.
No,
Oh,
I know it's all about Shadow Force, but when I saw the film, first of all, it was a piece of history that I didn't know. So
yeah.
I
Me
was so
neither.
thankful,
Me
that the
neither.
story came to life, but you guys did such an incredible job. And just to see, and then,
Hmm.
I went down a rabbit hole, started digging and
All those
looking, you know what
women,
I mean,
right? All
women in the
those
unit.
incredible women. I know. I
But
mean,
you
shout
guys
out
did an
to
incredible
Tyler
job.
Perry and Nicole Avant. I mean, that film is so important. And again, at a time when people are like trying to attack our history, to tell stories that say, see us, like see us, know us. We're not we didn't just show up to this party and we're not going anywhere.
It's what fundamentally gets me the most sort of angry about what the narrative is from bigots in this country,
Hmm.
because all of these things would fall into their made up DEI
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah. Woke. Too woke,
It's
right?
too so to point out a reality that was forever ignored. We would be in the wrong for wanting to tell this truth that's been absconded forever. It's just,
Yeah.
honestly, it makes
You
my
know,
head explode.
there's that image of little Ruby Bridges, who was the first little black girl to
Yep.
desegregate schools down in
Yeah.
the South. And I saw this beautiful, I don't, it was probably on Instagram. Like somebody was like, what's crazy is like the kids in high school who were spitting on Ruby Bridges and yelling at her to not be allowed in school. They now don't want you to know that it was them. So they're
Yep.
they're saying, let's not teach that history because they don't want you to know that they did that.
That's
No, they
right.
can't even
We just
stand on their business of what they were. At least own it. You should at least go
Yeah,
back and be proud
yeah,
of what you did.
yeah,
But now
right?
it's like,
Like
no, that
own
wasn't
what
even a
you
thing.
did. That it might make somebody uncomfortable if we tell the truth. Like, you know what? For me, like it's all about the truth. Like we're like we have to tell these truths of who we are, of what we're capable of. We're not gonna shrink to make you comfortable. We're not
Well,
gonna be small. Nope.
the only way to heal, too, and the only way to really, truly have progress is through accountability.
Yep.
Oof. Oof.
That's the only way
That's
forward.
it.
And
For
if
us
we're
to
not,
live up to what we're
That's it.
supposed to be, you mean
that's
would be
right.
to
You're only
acknowledge
going to
what
become the
actually
best
happened.
version of yourself if you're accountable.
It's so true. It's so true. I'm just grateful also that artists are doing this work, right? Like, especially when I think about films and theaters right now, like One of Them Days and Sinners,
Yeah.
like people are in the theaters, in community, like appreciating our culture and who we are right now in a communal way. Because I think that's important. Like, it's one thing when you're on your couch taking in these stories and you feel connected to like your friend, like, but to really be in a theater and experience something like One of Them Days or Shadow Force or
Yeah.
Sinners, where you're on these rides together, feeling uplifted, feeling inspired, feeling excited about life. Like we do have to continue to maintain our joy and like our creativity in this moment because they want us to be hopeless, right?
Well,
They
and Carrie,
want us
what,
to
what you're
feel
saying
like
is
there's
we
nothing we
also
can do.
we also have to maintain our connectivity. We have to
Yes.
stay
Yes.
connected, and that's the other part about
Yes.
going out and having an experience where we see each
Yeah.
other, right? Because we
Yeah.
have to
That's
see each
right.
other. Because if we let others control the narrative, we'll be made to believe that we're not representing and we're not
That's right.
out being active and we're not
Yeah.
actually, truly a force to be reckoned with if we don't see each other.
That's right. That's right. And we start to believe, stuff that we read on our phones when we're not looking in each other's eyes
That's right.
and staying connected. It's so important. Yeah. But
Kerry
you guys do a
Washington.
great job of it too. I mean, I just want to say, like, so many people come to you for the right information, to feel inspired, to feel connected to community, to each other. So I'm really grateful that you're having these conversations in the way that you're having them. So honest and loving and lifting us up because it matters. You need to know that.
Thank you so much for that.
Thanks,
It's
Kerry.
it's
Thank you, Carrie.
it's a tough game, but we often get that kind of accolade, which is the most important for us, and we hear that from our audience too. So
Yeah.
that's really what keeps us going is because we have a dope community of listeners throughout the tri-state and across the country.
Yeah.
who continue to give us good feedback and also critique us and hold us accountable, right? Because once
Yeah.
again, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to be over emotional or taking something the wrong way or approaching something the wrong way. And people, it's the communication is both ways, and that's important as well.
Yeah. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you for having me
Carrie,
on.
thank you, and hopefully we'll see
Carrie.
each other in real life.
I
Because
know
we
that
got
would
to
be
stay
so
connected.
great.
Yeah, we
Listen,
got to get our
it's
studio situation together, so we don't have you showing up to like a broken elevator in a wrecked bathroom. We couldn't, you know what I'm saying? We didn't want all that, so we figured, you know
listen.
what? Let's just do it virtual.
I want to say to a lot of your listeners, I know not everybody got Mother's Day gifts this weekend because I know we're busy. So just grab your mom or your sister or your wife and go see Shadow Force. Call it a day.
Boom, I
Love
love
it.
it.
Love it. I
is.
love this marketing. That's the way.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Thanks, Carrie.
Thank you guys.
Bye bye.